last but not least, also professor, a senior professor, a full-time professor at the engineering department of Seoul National University. So I will leave this to him to give us his last opening remarks for this event. Let's welcome him if you can.
Okay, well, thank you, Nicole. But maybe I think after me, also I will ask Professor Soyu Gang, also who have been organizing this one together. But I'll make it short. Maybe I think still some people are on the move or joining, so I just warm it up in the beginning. Just keep the vacancy. Uh, to tell you the history of this WINIT and also ASPP. So many of you know that we started our global outreach since 2003 when I come to Korea as a Seoul National University professor. At the time, the one I was mainly responsible was ITPP. At the time, it was called International Information Technology Policy Program. Now we actually grow up as a name called International Technology Professional Program. So from the policy, it actually expanded as a professional. From the information technology to it actually, it expanded as a international technology. So in that regard, that we've been narrow from the very narrow scope of the leadership, have been expanding to the larger group of the leadership, which can represent whole future of global humanity. I'm very happy that now, as of 2024, which is 3 consecutive period of 7 years, 21 years. 2003, 7, 2010, 7, 2017, 7, 2024. So out of these 3 consecutive 7 years, actually made out from that small group of 10 students coming over to Korea. Now we expanded to all. From my point of view, our GRC and ITPP, ISTIC, every community we are conducting at least, I believe, more than 1,000 alumni we have, right? Not only degree program people, but all the partner. So in that sense, over last 21 years, we expanded more than 100 times of recipients from this, the small scholarship program we started. Definitely the budget and everything have been growing. But the most important thing is, most of people who have been educated become very successful and also now real leader of the society. Especially for the concern of WINIT, World Innovation Network of Intelligent Transformation, which also started with the World Innovation Network of Information Technology. Now we expanded into the intelligence transformation. Also, that gives that our name have been actually changed because we want to actually also embrace all the community we are growing. For that regard, also WINIT is one of the new one. In the currently, a lot of things like a WINIT is happening in many parts of the world. What you see in America is New City Empowerment Forum, right? But in the near future, I believe this forum will change to the name called New Entrepreneurship Forum. So whoever doing the new thing, so not only New York City, there will be a global. And we already have in Korea that also Global Smart City Leadership Forum, which we plan to do with ASEAN Smart City Professional Program, where the new short-term trainee will come and do. We already did once. Today, the people who come here the one that who attended and also make a great contribution at the time. I think we try to create the Congress for them, and this is one of the webinar we try to do that for them. So I believe this year also in September we will do Global Smart City Leadership Forum with a new second batch. But before that, also our alumni from ASEAN Smart City professional program hope get in touch at the time. Also, many of them who talk today can also give great also lessons to the new trainer in ASEAN Smart City professional program. That is kind of my understanding why this WINIT also, new entrepreneurship forum, global smart city leadership forum. Soon next week, we'll, to outreach to the Africa, we'll have a, also, Hanguk Africa National Development Forum. But that development forum is another kind of the form like a WINIT, but outreach to the Africa. But at the same time, this Africa will be, changed to the, all alumni or alliance. Okay, so that means, Hanguk Alliance or Alumni National Development Forum, which means, Korean alumni who have been educated from Korea will be gathering together and working for the national development, which will be many of you will be attending online and in 2 weeks starting in 2024 February 17. So that will be led by me, also our EDCF project group, which are doing some project for them. And with these kind of workshop or forum that what we are creating, we'll have a 1-year annual big symposium, what we so-called Congress. That Congress is which I started already 14 years ago here in Lombok, as of what we call GSDB, Green Smart Development Vision Symposia. So truly, because it will be collection of the forum and conference together, so I will call this one to be the bigger form, symposia. So this GSDB symposia also in the beginning started as graduate student defense victory in very small form that the students can actually present internationally. So also I can bring them over to other countries such as Indonesia. So it started in that way in a form that, why don't I give our student to have a make a presentation like we did in the form of very professional format. So that actually started GSDB. Now it grow as a real symposia and Green Smart Development Vision Symposia, which I believe we named it correctly to represent the future. As we know that we are witnessing that we truly need a green transformation. We truly need smart civilization transformation. We truly need also digital transformation. We truly need the transformation of the vision. Vision means for the future. If we want to have a vision, that means futures need to be sustainable, right? So sustainability is our vision, or sustainability is our foundation for the vision. Without sustainability, vision is nothing. So which I say that 4 forms of the transformation: sustainability for the transformation, digital transformation, civilization transformation, and also the green transformation. And these forms of wind or waves are now approaching. We try to have those to be ready and well managed by our center. Our GRC center represents in 4 corners of the earth. One corner is Korea, in Kwanak and Shihung, and many also, to be also Yeouido in many campuses. And also another corner is in America, Orlando, Florida, Osceola, Kissimmee, and New York City. Another corner is in also the Ethiopia, and Addis Ababa, Adama, and also Gada. And the 4th corner is also in Indonesia, Lombok, Mataram, and Senggigi, and that region. and those corner will be expanded to ASEAN, one corner will be expanded to Africa, one corner will be expanded to America, one corner will be expanded to Eurasia. In that way, truly we will be able to be responsible for the learning and innovation of whole future. I really thank everyone that you come to the place where we can witness that what we have done so far can be well used if we cooperate together and to open another 1,000 years. I believe we would be able to be the person or leadership and group we can witness that our actual movement actually saved the world to be making sustainable another 1,000 years. Even we have a small number of people attending here, I believe some of us will remember in 10 or 20 or 30 years, yeah, what we did in 2024 with all these 4 offices of GRC were truly very important movement for the global society. I really thank everyone attending this last day. I greatly appreciate all your patience and diligences to spend 3 days or 3.5 days with us for starting last Friday. I think many people are very busy of taking care of their daily life. They should do, but more than that, many of you here not only taking care of your own life, but also devoted your time of more than 3 consecutive days with us. I believe that learning is also very meaningful and very encouragement to all our community of ASPP and Seoul National University and GRC. As a founding member of this WINIT, also as a founding member of the ASPP, I'd like to declare that today is the last day, but not the last, but the real beginning day of our WINIT as a global format with ASEAN Smart City Professional Program. I thank you, all of you, for your great support and participation. Hope you have a good rest of the morning, and then to enjoy our conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Huang, for this memorable opening remarks that will set the tone for the day. As our second distinguished guest or participant, I would like to invite Dr. Soyu Gang. So she is actually an assistant professor in Smart City Global Convergence at Seoul National University. She specialized in urban design, tactical urbanism, and also urban regeneration, especially in South Korea. She has designed the curriculum with the help of Professor Huang for ASEAN Smart City Professional Program, and which she will introduce today for the next 10 minutes. So let's welcome her to present.
Okay, thank you, Priscilla. Hello, everyone. I'm Yu Gang-seo, a postdoctoral researcher at Seoul National University. I would like to introduce the ASEAN Smart City Professional Program, ASPP. The ASPP program is part of a larger initiative titled Capacity Building Project for Data-Driven Smart City Planning. The ASPP has 3 main parts: the short-term training sessions for quick learning, master degree course for deeper study. Lastly, annual conferences and webinars will be held to share the latest smart city ideas. Over 5 years from 2023, we expect 260 people to participate in the short-term training and 40 people in the master degrees course. The ASPP program is not just about learning. It's about making real changes in building smart cities in ASEAN. There are 5 goals. The first is capacity building for data-driven smart city development in ASEAN. The second is establishing the ASEAN-Korea Smart City knowledge sharing platform. The third is developing leadership and networking to foster growth and change. The fourth is enhancing cross-cultural understanding for stronger people-to-people connections. The last goal is to create a communication and expert network centered around the trainees. The ASPP is structured into 3 main components. The first, the master degree course. This is for those who want to get involved in smart city planning and development. Next, short-term training. This is perfect for those looking for the best way to learn about smart cities. Lastly, on annual conferences and webinars. These events serve as platforms for knowledge exchange, networking, and showcasing innovations and successes in smart city initiatives. The short-term training program is held for 2 weeks every year in August and September. It combines online and in-person training in South Korea. The trainees will work on projects during the program to solve smart city problems. The trainees will get help from the Korean government and private companies experts. After all learning and project work, there's a wrap-up workshop. To apply for the short-term training program, you must be an ASEAN member state national and have at least 5 years of experience in smart city sector. Last year's short-term training program focused on using data for smart city planning. It combined in-person training in Korea with online sessions. During the program, we explored how data could enhance the efficiency and intelligence of urban environment. The ASPP is launching 2 batches for the master degree course. The first batch will start in March 2024 and run until February 2026. The second batch will begin in March 2025. The master degree course is conducted at Seoul National University and is part of the cutting-edge Smart City Global Convergence Program. The course includes in-class lectures and seminars, company internships, and field trips, and opportunities to participate in international smart city project. To apply for the master degree course, you must also be an ASEAN member state nationals and have at least 10 years of experience in the smart city sectors. Every year, ASPP hosts a conference and webinar. These events may coincide with the World Smart City Expo or be part of the GSDB, Green Smart Development and Vision Symposia. It's also a good opportunity for everyone involved to learn from the latest smart city developments and share their own experiences. This opportunity allows trainees to engage with leading professionals in smart city fields, enhancing their learning and networking opportunities. This slide concerned last year Global Smart City Leadership Forum ASEAN, held at the World Smart City Expo 2023. The trainees from the ASPP short-term training program last year also participated in this forum. The World Smart City Expo is where smart city leaders worldwide come together. It's a place to share and learn about new technologies. What wraps up our introduction to the ASEAN Smart City Professional Program, ASPP. If you are interested in our ASPP program or have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us using the contact details provided below. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. So. For the next 2 hours, 1 hour of the event, we'll be welcoming several government officials from from the ASEAN countries. The first actually participant is Miss Maria Angela Monica Sarud Bamuyak. She's division chief at the Department of the Interior and Local Government of the Philippines. She is scheduled to give a talk on connecting cities through a smart, sustainable transportation system as a case study, talking about what is happening right now in the Philippines. She seems to she has not joined us yet. So if you don't mind, I will have to ask you to just wait for 2 minutes. She will be joining us very shortly. She may have some issues with the connection on her site. So please just bear with us for the next 2 to 5 minutes. She'll be joining us soon. Uh, yes, so I am sorry and thank you for waiting. Thank you for your patience. Since Miss Maria Angela Monica seems to have been some difficulties joining us right now, I would like to welcome instead Miss Kain Zadwin, who is a staff officer of Yangon City Development Committee in Myanmar. She has prepared for us a presentation on urban transport issue in Yangon, Myanmar. She's also an alumni of our ASEAN Smart City Professional Program. So I would like to ask you to please welcome her online and offline since she has taken the time to come today and join us to give us a talk during her busy schedule. Let's welcome her.
Thank you, Priscilla. Can I share my screen right now?
Yes, please do so.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and Professor Huang. I'm very glad to participate in this events, World Innovation Network of the Intelligent Transformation, as the ASPP alumni. I'm Kaizolen from the Yangon City, Myanmar. Today, I would like to share about the Yangon urban transport. And this is my today presentation outline, the Yangon profile, urban transport, and the challenge and the gap, and some smart solution and the way forward. First of all, I would like to introduce about the Yangon profile. I will be emphasized on the population. You can see in the graph, Yangon population is the increase every year. Yangon has a lot of the migration people because Yangon is the economic center of the Myanmar. And also we have a lot of job opportunity in our city. In the map show the Yangon boundary, and it has the 44 townships and 33 townships are administrated by the Yangon City Development Committee. It is the 794.43 square kilometer, and 70% of the Yangon population are living in the urban area. Okay, then let's see for the SWOT analysis of the Yangon. As I mentioned before, Yangon is the economic center of the Myanmar and play a crucial role in the country, commerce and the trade. They are the strength of the Yangon National Growth Center and gateway to the international business and the commercial hub. And we have a lot of the rich of the heritage and the group of the, that's why group of the employment, the opportunity. And also the some NGO and the NGO are very interesting the area for the city, and some we have the weakness for this is or other laws and regulation enforcement, informal settlement, and also the we the technically. And also we have a lot of threat for the growth of the migration and the urbanization, the rapidly, and also the natural disaster prevention and some environmental pollution. That these also are threats for the Yangon city. And to make the sustainable and the systematic to the urban development in line with the increased population, not only for the current and CBD area, but also for the second CBD sub-center, other potential new city has been proposed. At Yangon urban planning, we have the strategic the master plan to formulate the urban and the infrastructure development under the municipal law. This statement consists of the 4 key drives as shown in this figure, with the vision, attractive international port and the logistic hub, a city of the blue, green, and the gold. After the establishment of and the ASEAN Smart City Network ASEANs, Yangon became a member of the Smart City and to collaborate with the ASEAN country and to be the creating the Smart City Network. The primary goal will be to improve the life of our people and promote innovation in the smart city development. And currently, we are doing the smart city project attached with the 3 pillars of the ASEAN Smart City Framework, such as civil and the social and quality environment, and also the built infrastructure. And I would like to continue to the current public transport in Yangon. And the public transport entities are mainly the 4 modes, such as the roadway, railway, waterway, and airway. And currently, nearly 800,000 vehicles, including over 400 EV vehicles, are using the existing road network around 5,020 kilometers long. Yangon bus service is the main public system to the this roadmap of the Yangon bus service. Other this slide is the roadmap for the road infrastructure, railway line, and also the outer ring and the inner ring are connected in the line in the future development plan. Yangon Regional Development introduced the YBS service in the 2017 January and operate by the Yangon Regional Transport Authority. And this photo shows for the transform of the public transport, and we are upgrading. Bus lines are totally the 130 lines, and the total list of the YBS vehicle are 5,000 and 55 and the 39 vehicle, and every day around the 1.5 million people are using for the YBS service. And the public transport are currently the railway, circular, and the waterland, and the airway, and it's just for the connecting the barrier network and the sub-urban area. And we have also the affordable and the convenience, the ferry boat and available to cross the river, providing for the alternative means of the transport for some area of the city. The Yangon International Airport is the gateway for the international for the traveler. And we have the express terminal, and the Air Express and the Almingla Express terminal to the linking with the other city. And the average express passengers are using almost 10,000 around for the daily. The main challenge of the Yangon traffic is that traffic congestions, and also the indicate the parking space and insufficient the public transportation and imperfect infrastructure, and also the environmental concern. These are the main challenge for our city. And we have some gap for the urban transport, as well as is the indicated funding and the reset for the deteriorating quality of the urban transport service, and also decentralization to achieve a clear distribution of the fiscal responsibility in the sector. And also that we have developed the appropriate institutional arrangement and the technical capacity for the private partnership. And oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. To make a sustainable and systematic urban development, that we have also the traffic control center for the urban region, as to create the promote the our security for the check for the reverse driving record, and also the driving online record, and some the accident for we are we create a traffic control center and linking with the 164 traffic light and the CCTV installation with the CCTV camera and monitoring for the 24 hours. And for the urban regeneration is also important planning tool, which can be infrastructure development and create the livable environment for the citizen. Therefore, we promote to improving the payment service and the streetscape and the public space, and with the green corridor and the smart parking to be a livable environment. Not only then, but also to reduce the air pollution for using with the EV car to more smart street and the more area, and we are installing the solar system for the traffic light. And addressing these challenges and the gap, consider the new revenue sources such as the fuel tax policy support for each state of the urban transport, carry out the detailed analysis of their economic and the social impact, required to connect the effort from the government, transportation authorities, and the private stakeholders to invest in the infrastructure, improve the regulation, enhance the quality of the public transport service, and promote sustainable transportation solution in Yangon to more convenience, more smarter, more safer, and more faster. Thank you. This is for my today presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ms. Luyên. Is there anyone from the audience who have a question for her about Myanmar's ongoing urban transportation project and so on?
Okay.
As an experienced professional, she can share her perspective right now on ongoing issues and all solutions for smart city urban planning. So please feel free to ask her any question right now, or just to upload your question in the group chat so she can answer them.
Okay.
Ken, so I have a question. So I think we've been actually doing also many things. So mobility issues is very important. So so in recently in any of opportunity that Yangon can kind of try to facilitate some of the project between Korea and also Yangon, as you are aware. And as you know that also some of our team that day mobility, also the, Ida Young, but inspired by you, by many of you, actually, created the also startup that which will try to bring the Korean technology over to many ASEAN countries. So I'd like to ask you, any opportunity currently evolving?
Yes, Professor. We are doing the so to the new sub center, and we are with the, what is this, the name is the building is the Yangon River crossing to the Dalar city. That is connected. We are cooperate with the Quaika, I think is from your city.
Koika, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Hope we can get in touch with some of the project proposal you made when you were leaving, and hope we get together with some of the company we established.
Yeah, we are working for the technical assistance and sort of the financing. So.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
So since we're waiting for our next participant, I would like to ask a question, more like to stimulate a group discussion here. That will be to our students who are right now in UNRAM. What kind of transportation issue is facing the city of Mataram that you can also kind of see similarities, you know, that they're similar to the one in Myanmar, in Yangon. Is there anyone right now in the audience in UNRWA who can answer and discuss this with us right now? Since we're waiting for the next participant, and that would be a good, I think, a good thing to discuss, since we're all about collaboration here and learning from each other's.
Okay, Priscilla. So I'm sorry. So you mean say either Q&A sessions, or can I have an answer right now?
I just wanted to know if anyone from the University of Mataram, since we are having an hybrid offline as well event for this, if among the students anyone could relate to the situation in Myanmar and Yangon, and if they could share their, you know, their opinion. But actually, well, we can go back to this later. I would like to ask the students to, you know, keep their questions for the time being.
Okay.
And they can always contact you after later, you know, contact me directly, and I might forward you the question. Since our next distinguished guest has joined us. So I would like to thank you again, Ms. Luyên, for your participation today. It was very insightful. And thank you very much for preparing all this too. We really appreciate it. Let's just, offline and online, give a round of applause to Ms. Luyên.
Thank you for our alumni networking ASPP program. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you, Wang.
So I would like now to present you to our next honorable speaker. This is directly from Malaysia, the Ministry of Local Government and Housing, Deputy Permanent Secretary Stanley Chong. Welcome, sir. Thank you for making the time today to meet with us and discuss about smart water management in Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia. Let's welcome him. He's also an alumni from ASPP. Are you ready, Mr. Chong?
Yes, I'm ready. Yeah. Shall I share my presentation, or you will?
What do you prefer?
I think a bit possible that you allow me to share.
That would be great. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Priscilla, and Professor Huang. I saw you there. Thank you. Thank you for inviting us. I mean, me as the Malaysian representative to present my paper on the smart water management in Kota Kinabalu City, Sabah, in the event of WINIT 2024. Yeah, my presentations is basically on the study on the smart city solutions to urban challenge on water management in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Basically, overview on Sabah. Maybe some of us know and some don't know where Sabah is. Sabah is actually located in the east regions of Malaysia, and with the populations of 3.4 million and the size of 73,900 square kilometers. Okay. And the main issues that currently we have, even today, we have facing, which is the non-revenue water, NRW. And currently we're facing about 55% of NRW throughout the state of Sabah. And I will go into the bit detail on the specific area which was done in Kota Kinabalu City, or the project also known as the Basic Plan for Smart Water Management Project in Kota Kinabalu City, Malaysia. The project was done in 6-month period since August 2019 until the end of the February 2020. And the target area is Kota Kinabalu City, And priority area, which is the smart city project on the pilot smart city project in Kota Kinabalu city of 600 acres, as shown in the near just next to the University of Malaysia, Sabah. And the project was sponsored by Korean government and the Ministry of Land, Infrastructures and Transport, and it was done by Care Water with the help of also the KECC. And the scope of work is actually they're doing survey on the water supply, and also came up with the basic plan of the smart water management, and also suggesting on the smart water management issues on the field, established on the implementation plan. And the main issues that was discussed in that studies, that the demand, which is increased by tourists, and then also increasing populations, and the improvement of water supply services and infrastructures, and also to applying of the smart water management technologies, and also to inform about the problem, why the leakages and why happening of the stealing of water, and also and how to reduce the NRW and increase efficiency system. Okay. As I said just now, the priority area is on the smart city project. This is the smart city project, a pilot study done by MOLIT and the LH. Okay. The conceptual plan shows that with these 660 acres, currently it is populated by the squatters, mostly squatters area or the transition housing. And this area would say that about 90% they were non-revenue water. And the government lost millions and millions of dollars in a year. So this is where the study is coming in to solve this problem on how to reduce NRW and how to come up with a good planning in this particular area. As I said just now, that the focus study on the smart water management is on reducing NRW and increasing system efficiencies. And it's focused on the northern part of Kota Kinabalu city. And Kota Kinabalu is actually the capitals of state of Sabah. And that's why the studies, the priority area was given to Kota Kinabalu, and for the smart city project and smart water management as the case study. And also we propose the smart city and as well as smart water management. And we focus on the northern part of Kota Kinabalu city. As you see, that red area is actually on the southern part of Kota Kinabalu city. And you have the dot, if you look at these two areas, where is the source of water on the northern part of Kota Kinabalu city. And the study area focusing on this particular area. Yep. Based on the study done by Care Water, they have study on about 6 area. I mean, based on the district meter zone, on 6 zone areas. Based on the district meter zone, they find out that the data shows that the inflows minus the billed water, then when came up with the NRW, and it shows that an average of 77.3% of NRW on the northern part of Kota Kinabalu city. About less than 20% only that is been delivered to the populations, and it's very serious. And even today, we have a serious matters on this in Kota Kinabalu, and where the water department is actually looking on how to solve this problem. This is the main source of the problem, which is lack of management on water meter and demands. It is true. And we are actually the government are doing transitions on how to improve the departments and also the organizations of which in charge water management in Sabah and as well as Kota Kinabalu. Okay. And you look at the water piping system, it exposed and it's easily to be illegally tapping. And that's why in this particular area, the study area, this is the pilot smart city area, most of the area, we found out that the illegal tapping water in there. So that's why I would say that if the northern part shows 77%, and this particular area, I would say that 90 our percents, they were NRW. As well, you see, this is where the meter is, okay? They came up with a separate meter, but thing is, they just, the meter sometimes not functioning because they cut it and they just tap it here, okay? And said the illegal consumptions by squatters means that mostly the illegal tapping is by the transition houses. This way we have to, they are human as well, and they are living in the slum area, and we have to improve it. You see here, Suang Prai DMZ shows 94% they are NRW. So very sad, very sad. And this is where K-Water have do suggestions to have an integrated smart water management system through smart water leak detections. Okay, they came up with the three areas. Three area as a reference, which is Gangjin, Shinan, and Gongju, where these three areas have successfully come up with the smart water leak detection. I don't want to go through the details on how they do it, but yes, this project is considered part of the successful project on the smart water leak detection in Seoul. I mean in Korea. And how this proposed smart water detections have been done. If you look at the this slide, it shows that the demand analysis, the smart water reading, and mobile water treatment, which is this is integrated solutions on how the smart water would assist in terms of reducing the NRW. And they will collect and manage operational data in the real time, as well as predicting water demand based on the IoT and ICT technologies. And they will establishing a system for monitoring and analyzing data. So it means that they have these two systems to monitor, and also they will establish the water treatment plant, small hydropower system for energy efficiencies and water management that will reduce cost in the plant, in the water treatment plant area. Okay. And this is how it works. Okay, smart leak detection system. They will have a smart water leak detector, a cloud network platform, and water leakage detection analysis management. And from here, they will have they will improve on water management and efficiency to detecting and replacing broken pipes using smart water leak detection technology. This is a technology they are referring to. And for reducing water production costs, they will have this information on water supply analysis, demand analysis, and water leakage rate analysis. And they will set water leakages rate target, and then they will look into on how this overall system can do a cost-saving analysis. This is where it's all about. Where when they have NRW, to reduce NRW means that to save costs to the government. And number two is AMI. AMI, also known as the Advanced Metering Infrastructures. And this is what the study done by K-Water. They proposed that state of Sabah or Kota Kinabalu, they should have this system as well. Yeah. And number three, the smart hydropower-based renewable energy. This is where the study was done based on experience in Seoul. Okay, and how they do it, they plug in the small hydropower facilities in the water treatment plant, and then they will use these technologies to generate powers in the treatment plant instead of from the grid area, and they will have their own power plant, their own hydropower in the water treatment plant itself. And this is the examples that they show, because they know that the electricity interruptions in this area is always have a problem. Electricity also one of the big issues in Sabah, in Kota Kinabalu, where they're trying to improving it. Okay, and that's why this idea come up. You know, if there's electricity interruption, at least they will have the small hydropower as the backup to to ensure that the STP is always running in a smooth way. So this is example that done by had been done in Seoul, Norjanjing Reservoir. And mobile water treatment plant is very important. That they also found out that especially during the construction period on the smart city, or even wherever in Kota Kinabalu that have a water problem, and this mobile water treatment plant system, it's very important. That could help. There's transport to mobiles water and to send it to the neighborhood area. Okay, and how they work, they will treat the water in the pond and purifying it, and after that they will treat in the mobile in this transport area. They can use water from the pond as well as a seawater desalination, through seawater. And this is how Korean government and through MOLIT and K-Water suggests to the state government of Sabah on how Korean government can collaborate with MOLIT, with Sabah, and how Malaysia through approval of the Malaysian government, the Federation of Malaysian Government, and they're also known as the private-public partnership. They came up with, on the equity, they have a South Korea company and Malaysian company to look into the investment and dividend. And this is where the smart city all about. And through land sales, and when they develop the smart city, it become part and parcels of the project that involve the financial and funding. Okay, and through the Malaysian company, also known as local commercial bank, and from Korean government, they also suggest on the MDB through AIIB or ADB, etc., and on the loan purposes, on the financing purposes. And well, this is yet to be decided, but they actually for state government of Sabah to understand more about all this. I think more collaboration had to be done between the three parties: the federal government, the state government, and the MOLIT. So, but I don't know whether MOLIT are still interested to pursue all this, because it has been prolonged after the pandemic, and there is no positive feedback from state government due to the transitions of you see that the transitions of government, that they changed government that particular time, and the new people coming in, and suddenly there's no person in charge on this in Sabah. And maybe this is where I look into it on how to work again with the Korean government through the Asian Smart City Network program on this particular matter. Yep, I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chong. This was a very insightful, presentation on smart water management in Sabah, Malaysia. I have a question. Is it something that is also ongoing in other cities of Malaysia? This type of smart water management projects right now?
Well, currently in Sabah, we are actually looking into the solutions on also came up with how smart city solution could be utilized for this purpose. But on this arrangement with K-Water, I think it's already passed a long way, and maybe there is no how to say it, networking between both parties at this particular stage. And because I believe that is because of the in charge person would no longer in the picture. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Dr. Stanley Chong, I'm this is Professor Wang. So I will follow up with MOLIT, because I have a network with K-Water and MOLIT, and see, that any potential capability that we can revitalize the project soon. I might be able to plan to be there around later part of the Malaysia, April. I'll let you know. But before that, probably I hope to bring some good news for you. So I will plan to visit some of our ASEAN countries, especially for those who are attending today. I'll be there to promote some of our program, also some creating some project for you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Fong.
Yeah,
And
you and I keep in touch to officialize my visit in April.
Sure.
In 2 months. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Fong. I think we should keep in touch, and I will
Sure.
convey this message as well to my superior.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
Just before we move on to the next speaker, is there anyone in the audience or among the participants in this meeting who have questions for Mr. Chung? He has joined us today for this event. So if you have any question for him, that's the right moment to ask him about what's happening in Malaysia. Any question that you may think of and that you want to ask him, please feel free to ask those. Okay, then I guess that that will be the end for this participation. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chung, for making the time today to be with us. Again, to the audience and the participants, if you have any questions, you can forward them to me directly, and I will forward them to Mr. Chung. That applies to other participants as well. So thank you very much today, and I would like to also ask the audience to clap offline and online. So thank you very much, and
I could leave actually.
Yep. Thank you, Stanley. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Priscilla. Yep.
Okay, see you later.
See you again.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
So for our next presentation, we have Dr. Non Arkara Preserkur from Thailand. He's a senior expert at the Digital Economy Promotion Agency, DIPA. So he will be speaking about Smart City Initiative in Thailand. He has prepared for us some presentation file. So first of all, let's thank him by welcoming him to be here today with us, although he's very busy and always traveling around, but he has made the time to be with us today. So let's welcome him.
Sawadee krab. Hi guys.
Sawadee krab.
Hi, Professor Huang, and hi everybody. It's good to see you all again. Anyway, thanks Priscilla for organizing this for me. So today I only have a few things to show you because I think that for the limited time of 10 minutes, I could only say so much about what we have been doing for the past few years in terms of promoting smart city, which is one of the main national urgent agenda that we have been working on for past many years. And one of the things that we have put at the core, and that's the reason why we have been quite successful in doing what we've been doing, is the idea of putting people at the center. And this is very important because opposite to a lot of people thinking about how smart city should be about technology, which it is in some ways, smart city always have to start with the understanding of what people demands are, where are the needs that are to be met, and the kinds of strategies that we put together would have to be around the ideas of providing the services and solutions so that people can live their life in a much more meaningful way. So I'm doing this differently from what I've done in the past. I wanted to show you one case studies, which was one of the most important cases that we had within the past few years. And I wanted to use that to extract some of the key lessons that we have done and we have learned in the past. So that lessons is this one. There's a city in the southern part of Thailand called Nakhon Si Thammarat. If you have never been to Thailand, I recommend going to this place because it's really nice and it's a real gem of the southern Thailand. Not as crowded as Phuket or Hat Yai or any other places. So not many people know about it yet. That is a really beautiful place. So if you wanted to be in a place where it's not so crowded and still really beautiful, amazing air quality, I recommend Nakhon Si Thammarat. But For the past 8 years, the city has been flooded every year. And as you know, flooding is something that's prone to happen in southern part of Thailand, partly because of the rain. It can go up to 66 millimeters of rains in the rainy seasons. And because it's in southern part of Thailand, it rains about 8 months a year, which is a long time for rainy seasons. And because of that, it rains every year. For many years in a row that the rain has been a problem, causes flooding. And flooding causes a lot of damages. And we think about the kind of financial loss as a city have to spend on flooding. It started with preparedness all the way to compensation for the damages that the city has to pay to people, those who lose their lives, lose their livelihood, and other things which are really expensive. But the main point here is that when you have flooding every year, people don't want to live there anymore. They start moving out. They start migrating out. They start wanting to settle somewhere else. And it actually makes the city lose its vibrancy, lose its sense of belonging, and of course, loses the sense of economic dynamism, which would have been there if the city is able to maintain some sense of livability by making the cities very livable and not so prone to natural disaster like this. So we were looking into this question. From my perspective as a senior expert at Digital Economy Promotion Agency, we were looking this from a very different perspective. We were not looking at it from the problem perspective. We try to find where is it that the problem begins. So we look into these questions and we realize is that, well, it rains a lot, but the reason why it floods every year doesn't have much to do with the rain. In fact, it has much to do with the city management systems. In fact, before 8 years ago, when it didn't flood every year, we found out that the waterways in the city serve as an overflow of water from the higher plain to the lower plain. So 9 years ago, the city didn't flood because all these waterways are not clogged. So when these waterways are not obstructed, the rains or the water are able to overflow to the river, and therefore the city was preventable from being flooded. And when we look into this, we realize is that the problem for the past 8 years have to do with the fact that lots of people throw trash into small waterways, especially the one that are so small, little small pieces of trash would able to clog the whole systems. Then we try to find people to go in there and unclog all these small waterways and canals. But turns out the system that we use in order for people to report where the problems are paper-based, just like the one you see in the top left corner here. So if I see a problem in the city, like clogging waterway, I would have to walk to the city hall. I would have to spend maybe an hour, go to city hall, and I would have to fill in the problems that I saw by hand. I have to put in the coordinates of that problems using my descriptiveness rather than an actual coordinates that I can copy and paste from GPS. Anyway, that process is timely. That process takes a lot of energy, and that process takes a lot of hurdles from people. And that piece of paper becomes a piece of paper on the desk of the person managing it, which you can see here on the bottom left corner. So as you can imagine, that piece of paper is not going anywhere for the next few months because it's being organized analogically. It's being put together with handwriting, which is very hard to read, and that's not a fault of anyone. And of course, it's not being organized in the digital way. Therefore, any things that are being put together that way usually get left behind because it's not being put into the system right away. So we realized then that every time it rains, a city flood, and that has to do with the fact that the city management is paper-based, and all the problems that people wanted to fix are not getting fixed because of this paper-basedness, and therefore the lack of latency, the lack of resiliency, and the lack of convenience of solving problems from the side of the city managers. So what we did was very simple. We moved this paper-based culture to the actual digitalizations. We moved the reporting system from paper-based to an application-based, whereby people download this small little app, which is very light. Any phone 6 years ago can use. I think many phones actually 8 years ago, I tried mine, it's still working as well. So when you have this app on your phone, you are a person in the cities who can communicate with cities anytime you want. And all you have to do is to take a picture or to write something that you want the city to know. And then once you send the picture with one click with the app, the city is able to look at the pictures or information to send, extracting the metadata, extracting all kinds of other data that are important to the decision making, and then the problem get fixed because you transfer the essence of data collection acquisitions from something that takes time and consume a lot of energy to produce and to analyze to something that's almost automatically in real time being analyzed as it's sent to the system. And that's also very cool because in a sense, we are able to connect with the city more seamlessly because people have smartphones. In Thailand, in fact, there are actually more smartphones than the number of citizens in this country. There's about 67 million people in Thailand, but there are more than 100 million smartphones, which means that most people have more than one smartphone, which means that it has become a norm and standards of communication. So what happened is that when we move the system from paper to applications, people are much more keen to actually engage with the system. They are much more keen to be someone who actually make the system works. So let's look at the dashboard we have in the background here. So once we launched the systems, we got lots of people sending in problems that they saw, especially in the waterways that I mentioned, because nobody wanted their city to be flooded. And therefore, they are trying to help in trying to identify where the problems are. So we got this first dashboard whereby we saw all these problems being sent to us. Of course, this is not very helpful because it only shows where the problems might be according to what people are saying. But if you think about it, in the past, when you wanted to fix problems, you don't have any knowledge of data at all. What you do is to randomly go outside. So you see a lot of empty spaces in that don't have any dots in here, right? In the top left corner, top right corner. These are places whereby you no longer want to send any fleets over there because you know for sure that if you send any fleets there, you're not going to fix anything because there are not problems reported. But back in the past, the fleets would have to go anywhere. They would have to put together a grid and whereby these fleets would be taking care of different grids. So some fleets might be encountering 100,000 problems and some fleet might not be facing any problems at all because they are going to the grid whereby problems didn't persist. So what happened is that we got this and then we turned this into a heat map. The purple color is the frequency of the problems being reported, which means that the purple one are places where we can verify with much more authenticities and much more veracity that there are problems there for sure, as you can see in this one that I zoomed in. And the light the yellow ones are the ones that we only have a few problems reported. So the verifications are not that strong as in the number of people sending in the problems that happen in that particular geographic locations. So what happened was that when we zoom in, you realize is that the area whereby the waterways in blue intersects with the purple area are actually area that we can go fix problem right away because we have verified problems over there. And these are the areas that if we fix them first, we are able to solve problems that clogging waterway might eventually lead to flooding. So if I were to zoom out again, and you can realize from this picture that we can identify at least 10 spots whereby people verify problems and that verifications of problems intersect with the waterways. And that's for sure would be where we wanted to send our fleets to fix problem before anywhere else, because that would be where the problems are 100%. And that's what we did. And turns out that it solved the problem. So for the past 8 years, it's been flooded. But for the past year, actually just this year, after the World Smart City Expo in Korea that we all went to, the mayor had to rush back to his hometown after he received the Smart City Award from the event because it was already a season whereby rains might cause flooding. But he went back and he was a little bit disappointed because it was not flooded. Actually, he's not disappointed at all. He was really happy that it didn't flood. But because a system that was created for people to be able to manage the cities better and faster and more resiliency, it makes the city more livable. And people are now moving back to the cities because it's no longer flooded. So happy to report that when you think about solutions, it doesn't always have to be a big one, infrastructural one. It can be something that starts from the people, from the perspective of understanding where the problems are, where the root causes are, and then use it as a way to actually unfold your creativities and innovations and imagination to the point where problems get fixed and get solved without having to rely on large investment, which we don't always have. So from my perspective, I think for the next steps that we can do, now that we know where the problems are, you see the diagrams in the bottom left corner there, all those circles, we can put an actual sensor because we now have a verified solutions. And then we can actually use a sensor to actually enhance these verified solutions into something that deeply engage with the technologies like cloud computing, like cloud analytics, like big data, but like IoT devices. And of course, if you can use it to determine the amount of time that it would send the informations to water gates and water pumps, we might be able to actually decreases the lag in the systems in terms of time lag, and therefore being able to push the system to actually work faster and more efficiently on behalf of the citizens. So I have been in this position working on some smart city field for many years now. When I started, I didn't know what I was doing. In fact, it was many years ago, and I thought smart city was all about technology. And only a few years back that I started to do intensive research and realizes that even though cities have funding and intention, good ones, they usually fail if they don't have the understanding of people. So let's look at some of these examples together. Like in this case, there's a cities that focusing too much on technology. The cities itself actually procure all these 5G telecommunication poles throughout the cities, and hoping that people would take advantage of the fact that there's a 5G signals travel throughout the city, so they can get access to low latency, high density, high capacities, and of course interconnectivity through IoT devices. But turns out people don't use them. Why? Because they don't even have the device to use 3G communication signals. So when you put out the 5G in the place where people don't even have enough income to purchase the 3G devices, what you get is the complete absolute uselessness of the infrastructure that you put so much money into putting together and building. Or in this case, a ghost town, as we call it, the cities, of course, have good intentions in the funding and wanted to build something good for the people. So the city it is, and they build a new cities in order for people to move in and therefore create economic transactions and activities. But turns out nobody moved in, because at the end of the day, people don't think of cities they want to live in as just places where there are nice roads and concrete pavements and nice building structures. People look for culture. People look for history. People look for sense of belonging. People look for a sense of humanity beyond just concrete and steel. So when you build a city hoping that people will flock in just because you have a nice infrastructure, it's usually not the case. So in this case, you can see that people are not moving in. It would take a while because you start building a city from the perspective of demand that is not there. And you actually use a supply that you happen to have and an intention that you think might be useful, but turns out it's actually not solving any problem on behalf of the people. Therefore, it doesn't meet the actual necessities and demand. Or in this case, actually, this is Songdo, Korea. The place is super livable, but it might not be lovable just because there are too many programmatic structures that make people feel like they are living in a very structured town. So not a lot of organic developments and so on. So I have a lot of cases, as you can see here. The other one I wanted to show you is the one down here in the left corner. It's this place of Singapore, whereby they wanted to ease the mobility problems by using the share bikes to connect the door of the person's house all the way to the subway stops, which is a great idea because actually, bicycles are good for your health. It's good for carbon emissions, and bicycles are always good for last mile mobility because it connects so seamlessly. But turns out the developer of this program, the system, forgot to think that Singapore is actually a very hot place. The temperature can go up to like 40 degrees Celsius, and people in Singapore are working their finance. They are wearing suits and ties. Nobody gonna want to get on a bike in 40 degrees Celsius and bike to work. So at the end, the project failed miserably because intentions and good ideas and fundings were there, but the lack of the understandings of where people want, where people think they should be in terms of their location in space, urban space, isn't really satisfiable. So I have the other thing. I would just say that all these problems that I've seen in the past in my role as a chief expert in smart cities of Thailand, it's just one problem, which I call well-intentioned parents problems. Like in this picture, like in these 6 cities that I showed you earlier, they have the same problems. They have with good intention, they have good funding, but they were looking at citizens from above. And that mismatch of the perspective of how they look at the problems and how the citizens are actually understanding the problems from below are not the same, and therefore the value that the parents want to give to the kids isn't being recognized by the kids. So the cases that I like a lot, this is Aspern in Vienna. It's always being top of the rank in terms of smart city ranking for one reason. It doesn't want to use technology too much. It used technology in the background so that people can have a more livable livelihood. Like in this picture, for instance, these two kids are able to be in this green space, sitting there, only because the IoT traffic lights are working so seamlessly. That's why their parents are able to get home 1 hour earlier. And that one additional hour that the parents get could give to the kids. The kids are able to actually enjoy their time in green spaces, playing like kids would do, rather than get stuck in traffic and probably have to do homework and eat in their cars because the car isn't moving anywhere. And that's bad for mental health. So when you have a system that works in the background, people have more time, people have more clean water, people have more clean air, people are able to navigate their sensibilities, sense of belonging in an urban space. That's what we talk about when we talk about smart cities. So let me conclude with a few points. First of all, if you wanted to build smart cities, technology is very important. We can't live without technology. Technology is what human beings are good at creating, but it has to be purposeful. It has to be something that has a purpose for it. We're not going to use technology for the sake of it. We just have to think about what kinds of problems that we are facing, what kinds of technology that are not too expensive, not too over the top, something that we can use, something that we can adapt, something that is nimble enough for the long-term adaptabilities. And we pick that because we don't want to be the well-intentioned parents. Second of all, value is the most important thing, not optimization. So if I ask you a rhetorical questions, if there are 2 boxes of tennis balls, one contains 3 balls and one contains 10 balls, which one will you go for? You're probably going to go for the one that contains 10 balls because 10 sounds better than 3. Until you see the picture here and you realize that, oh my God, the one that contains 10 balls are actually the balls that don't bounce anymore because the ball got cut in half just for the sake of optimizing the number. And that's not what we want. We don't want the cities that can say things like, oh, we have this number of CCTV cameras, or we have this number of sensors. We don't need that. We want the cities to say that, hey, we don't have a lot of cameras, but our limited number of cameras work really well. People feel safe and they don't feel like their privacy taken away. And by the way, we actually decrease the number of accidents happening in the place. We actually decrease the number of criminal activities. We actually decrease the number of problems that happen with the pavement and pedestrian walks because of the use of technology that we are using it purposefully. And therefore, value comes over optimization. So we want that. We want value and not optimizations. And last but not least, the ideas of thinking big. It's always intrinsic to how we wanted to build something important. But we don't want to think big and act big. Why? Because if we think big and act big, there is a chance that we will fail big as well. Because when you think big and in an echo chamber or think big on things that have never been done before, there are chances that you have not tested your hypothesis, and therefore it could lead to an actual failure. When you think big and act big, you might fail big, and that's what we wanted to avoid, because in the world whereby we don't have unlimited resources anymore, and we always have to be economical about how we manage our resources, we have to think consistently about how we can control the risk. We can actually think about the way to test different ideas in the smaller spaces, try to find the so-called MVP, the minimal viable products, which is a term that we use in startups for things that we want to launch to the market to test whether the market have the behavior to tackle it. And once the market is being verified to want the minimal viable product, then we can scale it up. If it doesn't work, we scale it back. If it works better, we scale it up. If it doesn't work at all, we put it back to the drawing boards. There are possibilities of what we can do in terms of agility if we do it that way. But if you think big, you act big, you build big, you fail big, there's no other way around to actually take care of the risk. My last slide is here. I believe that at the core of everything that we do, it's about people. We want to equip people with the sense of how technology could enhance their life and livelihood. We also want people to be able to live a better life because they have a better way of making decisions. And data is only important insofar as it leads to better decisions. Of course, technology too is only great if it leads to enhancing the way we live, learn, work, and play. So we put people first, and then everything else come after. And that doesn't mean that people before environment either. It means that we think that people and environments are the two components that actually make our life in the world much more meaningful than if we were to just look at one and not the other. So people first mean we want to enable people to have economic activities that are useful for them, that doesn't degrade environmental sensibilities, and also create a sense of equality, equities, and of course some sense of empathy within the domain of how we embed technology for people to have a better life, to live, learn, work, and play. And that would be it. Thank you so much for your attention. I welcome questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nan, for preparing for this event and sharing your insightful, perspective on what's going on with Thailand and how the country is doing in terms of smart city and human-centered approach on smart city. So I would like to ask the audience, our students, do you have any question for Dr. Nan? He has joined us today despite his busy schedule. Do you have any question about about his work or about more specificities on what is the human-centered approach or anything that you may want to ask him?
Anything at all, you can ask me. You can ask me why I have a Anpan Mandal on my desk. Actually, I have the Anpan Mandal and his girlfriend on my desk because when I look at them, I feel happy. It was a joke, by the way.
Thank you, Dr. Nan. I'm very thankful for you giving us a great wisdom that. So I think you always give a very good inspiration, because without people thinking and also the way what the smart city should be, and also that technology is not all solution. So, but there are some cities, they need the technology, as you know, right? Because they are too much falling behind that any of the benefit they still need the infrastructure, right? And then, but some of the places, for Korea, I don't think if we want to approach Korea to make it smarter, we don't need to say do the technology more, but the way of thinking, and then maybe people thinking. And civilization is not about technology, right? The Korea need the civilization, different thinking on social structure, right? So civilization, we never talk about the technology before. Actually, how when Western civilized the ASEAN or East, by the name of colonization, and they say they never talk about the technology, right? So, but they talk about some other thing. But I think they use the wrong term of the civilization at the time. But anyway, civilization is, if in a good meaning or in a proper meaning, we would be able to create various different, paths, depending on where you are living in, right? So some of the very local thinking, like you say, act small, but that is not small. Actually, locally, you should know what's really needed, right? And that eventually everyone will be very equal in terms of the happiness, but approach as problem and solution that they need are different. So I think there where you and I, like a doctor, really, practice our own way to diagnose what the problem is, what the disease is, and then probably create a formula that actually cure them, right? Or to let them to be more healthier, right? Nutritious. So I believe that's, I also greatly appreciate you brought your leadership, from Thailand, then, who actually have been exposed to our World Smart City Expo. So my question actually goes to, when you have a group of, these smart city chief officers, right, from your country, after they return back, right, it's been almost, more than a half of the year, what kind of impact you may see, from them, from the leader, that how they approach for the smart city. So that's actually, I'm kind of very interested in how that program can evolve, can be better. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Huang. Great questions. I really appreciate that question. So many people whom you met, many of the mayors that went to Korea back in September of last year, upon their return, they were working with us, with my colleagues in different departments at DEPA on putting together the strategies for smart city programs. A couple of which, two of the largest municipalities in Thailand, they are already working on creating the smart city roadmaps for the next 5 years. Because of the event that they visited in Korea, they start to realize is that they could start from the solution perspective, right? They could come up with a lot of solutions, but then again, with our big master plan that serve as an umbrella to bring all these solutions together, the whole system would just be too fragmented. So we are working. I am currently serving as the advisor to 3 of the mayors of the largest provincial administrations in Thailand at the moment. And I hope that my role as an advisor to them will be able to actually bring something that is tailored. We don't want a generic plan for every city to look the same. Also, we wanted to make sure that it reflects the resources that city needs. It reflects the demand the cities also embed. And it reflects the leadership of those mayors who are learning from what they learned in Korea and trying to think about how they might be able to bring it back to Thailand from the perspective of leadership who actually have to balance between progress and then the budget. And the point that I always enjoyed when I talked to you, Professor Huang, was about idea of civilizations. And if you trace back the reason why we call something that is advanced to be something that is civilized has to do with the fact that the word civilization itself comes from the root word in Latin civilis or civitas, which means citizens, right? So for something to be civilized, it has to serve or relate to the purpose of the citizens. So it has to be, first of all, democratic. Second of all, it has to be humanized. And third of all, it has to enhance our capacity as human beings to do what we were not able to be able to do before. So in that sensibilities, when we talk together about how citizens should be at the core, it's right there in the terminology. It's right there when we talk about civilization. Citizens is always there. And a lot of places use the term like civic. In lieu of urban, right? So civic design means the design of the urban spaces, and that is the kind of second regurgitations of the term that is being used in the English world later on. So I like the ideas that everything comes back to this loop whereby we talk about this and that, but actually they are all the same thing.
Right. Yeah, and definitely also what I believe, compared to 1,000 years ago, when we have an Asian civilization comes, our citizens are much smarter. Probably, I think in some way, our average citizens, intelligent capability, what we so-called smartness, is actually much more higher than in leadership because they have freedom on their, from the conflict of interest, anything. But I think that the large leaderships are smart and educated, intelligent. The problem is they're bounded by a lot of interest. For that way, they cannot practice the smartness that much. But if you let the democracy and citizens, right, who are same educated, but at the same time they are not that much bounded, then there is a solution. Like you and I believe, living lab, young people, right, and also citizen centered. This makes sense from my point of view. So we are in a very long tail innovation stage, and where every popularity and democracy really can bring up the leadership as a whole of collective wisdom. And that makes our civilization different from any previous civilization, which are led by small group of the people or small portion of the human population. Well, Dr. Non, I'd like to meet with you soon. So I'm planning to visit Malaysia and your area. So I hope you and I engage when you are in Thailand. So hope in April, if possible, I can visit you.
Sounds great. April is the best month because our Thai New Year is on April 13. That's when anywhere you walk around in the cities, you get water poured at, right? That's the water pouring festival. So
is it
come to
April
that time.
13? 13?
Yeah,
is
April
it?
13 is that date.
I
but
see.
I think
that is right after our election. Our election is actually 10. So maybe
really?
after I vote, then
Yeah.
I will go there.
Oh. Okay. Well, I saw one question. Priscilla, I just want to give you a quick. So the question is, how did Thailand secure funds to implement smart city projects? Was it ODA or government funds from Thai government? Well, yeah. The straightforward answer would be most of the fund that we use are actually the local municipality funding, and the reason for that is because we believe that the project needs an owner. So if the municipality who's in charge of the area is not the owner, then nobody going to take care of that project in the long run. So we have lots of projects in the past that federal government like us give the money to the municipalities to implement, and the project only lasts for a couple of years because the ownership is with DEPA, not with the city, and therefore the city doesn't see their ability to maintain the project since they don't have the ownership, let alone technicalities and understanding of the technical knowledge. So what we're trying to do is to make the cities that are interested in doing smart city projects, the owner of their own projects. So they have to use their own money, and we can find a way to help them use the money. For instance, we look at the procurement laws that actually allow us to bring pockets of money from different places, put them together, and then package them as a subscription for digital solutions that they can immediately procure, rather than a long-term projects that they would have to set up the budget for, which would take years to do. So we have a lot of techniques. I've been an expert in smart city promotions. At the beginning, I thought I only have to do design, but turns out now I have to be an expert in procurement. I have to be an expert in legal and law documents. I have to be an expert in business planning and modeling. I have to be an expert in finance and tax incentive structures, consultancy. So now I have to look at everything. But because these are everything that is related to the way we look at projects, we have to be able to fund projects. The money has to come from somewhere. We have to be able to convince those who give us the money that the project is worth it. We have to give them tax incentive. We have to make sure that these projects last longer than the 2 or 3 years period, which means that the project would be able to yield more benefit in the long run in terms of its capacity to be utilized, to be utilities for the citizens. Therefore, the expertise in this field is not just about physical design. It's really about everything that is humanistically economical.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nan, for taking the time to answer, especially taking the time to answer all of the questions, and for coming today and participating. If we will have to move on, unfortunately, because our next and last speaker is waiting. But would you be available if I get more questions from the audience? Would you be okay to answer them by email?
Please do. Please send me questions. And if I don't see you guys before Valentine's, happy Valentine's. I mean, this guy actually formed a heart. Okay. Anpan Man and his girlfriend. So happy Valentine's. Okay. Oh, and send me questions.
Okay.
Okay. I hope that the audience has heard.
All right. Take care. Take care. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. So I would now like to welcome our last speaker directly from Vietnam. It's Ms. Chu Thi Yen, who is the Vice Director of the Academy of Managers for Construction and Cities of the Institute of Training and International Cooperation. She'll be giving us a presentation on Vietnam National Program of Smart City Development, the role of Vietnam, Korean Cooperation on Smart City and Construction Technology Project, VKC. So let's welcome her online and offline with a big round of applause. Thank you for being here today, Ms. Chu Yen. The floor is yours.
Hello. Yes, hello from Vietnam.
Hello,
can you hear me?
Hi,
Yeah.
How are you?
Yes, nice to meet you. Yeah. So now I would like to share my presentation. Can you see our screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yes, and because it's a very limited time, so I won't be very briefly introduce present my topic on Vietnam National Program of Smart City Development, and I would like to brief introduce about the case study of the VKC projects. And my presentation including 4 parts. Of course, I will briefly introduce. First of all, I would like to share with you some information about the Vietnam urban development situation. And you can see at the moment, the number of city of Vietnam is 900 city, and the urbanization rate more than 40%. As the updated information is the 42.6% urbanization rate. Why I would like to share with you the urbanization situation, because there will be very close relationship between smart city development or the digital transformation with and the urbanization. And you know, because of the rapid urbanization speed, so there are some very how to say, yes, very important problems the city have to face with. That's about the urban pollution, or the gap between the rich and the poor, and the climate change. Yes, many problems. And you know, so one of the important tools to deal with this problem is the smart city or digital transformation. And you can see that there are some pioneer cities in Vietnam, like the Hanoi capital, Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh City, Huế, and Bình Dương areas. Those are the cities which developed smart city very well recently. And beside the government, like the city and the government holders that come from business sectors join the smart city development in Vietnam, like BRG or yes, WinHomes, yeah, smart city. And the second one I would like to share with you about the National Smart City Program. Is the look like the roadmap for smart city in Vietnam for the periods from 2018, 2025, and the orientation to 2030. In this program, we mentioned about the principle, the viewpoint, and the goals for each stage, and the task, and also yes, we mentioned about some specific solution to achieve smart city development in Vietnam. And you can see that it's the in the screen. You can see the smart city agenda in Vietnam. We divide into into some stage, and later on I will share with you about this stage, what we focus on. And yes, these are 10 groups of task solution that city program focus on all the
Mr. Tien, I think we cannot hear you right now. Oh, I
Maybe
think that she may have a
problem.
technical issue. If we
Yeah.
can hear you now.
Hello?
Yep.
Hello? Can you hear me? I'm sorry, because of the Wi-Fi connection is not good. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. You can
okay,
continue.
yes.
Yeah.
Let me continue. Yeah, sorry.
You can share your slide again.
So, do you see the... Yes, I'm sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Now I will continue. Yes, and now you can see in the screen that about the smart ecosystem in Vietnam. You know, it means that there are many stakeholders to take part in smart city development in Vietnam, including the national government, local government. Of course, the local government is play important role, and the operators come from business sector, and also the academy and association, like yes, our academy. And let me come back with yes. the 10 group of task solution. And as I mentioned before, at the moment we have been completed to establish a database system for smart city development. And now at this stage, the government focus on applying smart technology in urban planning and also apply smart technology on the urban infrastructure. And one of the important tools to support for smart city development in Vietnam is promoting international cooperation technology. That's why I will share with you the case study on VKC projects later. Yeah, and now you can see the smart city ecosystem in Vietnam. There are many stakeholders. And the Vietnam also from the Ministry of Construction, we also accomplished to develop the guidelines for setting up the GIS based database system for smart city development. And at the moment, we are finalizing the smart city certification because the smart city certification is one important for all the government to have the look like the guideline for smart city the locality. And the VKC project supports us to develop the smart city certification based on the Korean experience. And now I would like to share with you the VKC project. The full name of the VKC project is the establishment of Vietnam Korea Cooperation Center for Smart City and Construction Technology. And the duration for this project is 3 years, and we will complete it this year. This partnership is including two sides, from Vietnamese side, the local government and the government agency, and from Korean partners is including KICT, KRIS, Kaya, yes, and LH. And the objective of this project is to establish a center dedicated to promote research and training on smart city, smart city development and advanced construction to contribute to smart city development in Vietnam and facilitate the sustained bilateral cooperation in the field of smart city and digital transformation. The rationale for this cooperation, because we find out that smart city in Vietnam meets the Korean experience, and we can learn many Korean experience in smart city development. And the project including 4 components. The first component is about policy advocacy, and in this component, we developed the smart city certificate that will be applied in the whole countries, in all the city of Vietnam. And the second component, we focus on smart master planning on the pilot city, and we had already selected the Hue city to be the pilot city for this component. And the third component is about we established one center that would be look like the platform for G2G, B2B between Vietnam and Korean and other countries regarding the digital transformation and smart city. And the last component is about the capacity building. In this within this component, we will carry out the training course, the capacity building program for local government, for the business sector, yes, in the field of smart city development. Yes, and this is the general work plan of our project. And let me say that we hopefully that this project will contribute to the development of sustainable smart city and national economic development in Vietnam. And one of the key outputs of this project is about smart city certificate. And we hope that this certificate will meet international standards. And based on this, we can develop and promote more cooperation between Vietnam and other countries regarding the digital transformation and smart city. The last one, through my presentation, I would like to express our hopes that we can cooperate with Korean and other countries regarding legal frameworks. It means that we can share some knowledge and experience on the policy regarding smart city development and digital transformation. And maybe, and I hope that in the future, we can develop some corporate projects regarding smart city. And that's just all from my presentation today. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chu Tien. And I wanted to also say a happy Lunar New Year. I know that you're in the middle of the New Year festivities in Vietnam. So really, thank you so much for taking the time to be here and preparing this presentation file. Do we have any questions from our Indonesian counterpart or our students who are joining us live? Do you have any question for her on, on Vietnam smart city take?
Thank you very much. Yes, as you know, today is the last day of the year in East Mid that most of the agency and staff have how to say a holiday off. And
I see.
The last, the only one to stay in the office for this workshop.
Thank you, Ms. Chuan. I greatly appreciate. Well, I think we currently have also very important discussion with some of the Vietnamese counterparty, some projects supported by WIN Group, WIN Group. I want to actually have some discussion with you in regard to it's related to the smart city, and also it also connects Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh area in terms of smart city education. Hope we continue, but I know you have been actually working very closely with many Korean counterparty, right? And so, can you share some of the recent one? What kind of interesting cooperation going on between Vietnam and Korea?
Yeah, thank you for your question. Yes, as you know that Vietnam recently many supports from partners like the LH, Land and Housing Corporation.
Right.
From my from my side, because I work for Ministry of Construction, so Ministry of Construction of Vietnam have a very close relationship with the MOLIT of Korean Ministry of Land and Transportation in Infrastructure. And Vietnam also have regarding smart city project. Besides Vinhome and other Vietnamese business sector, we close working with KOICA and other Korean partners. Yeah, and what we can learn from Korean partners is about the technology. Yes, of course. Yes, the first one is technology, and we also learn we learn from the policy look like. And for example, from the project VKC project that I'm the vice director of the PMU. This project focused on the very important output that is the smart city certification, because it's look like the baseline for long-term smart city development in Vietnam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who wants to ask Ms. Yu Chen a question? I will encourage anyone, you know, she's freed her schedule for this during the New Year's festivities. So please don't be shy and feel free to ask her about what she's doing, her work, and everything. So, Miss Yen, I have received a message, a question from one of our students who is asking, how did Vietnam collaborated with COICA? Was it the efforts, many years efforts, or who started the collaboration agreement?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the question. About, yes, not only the COICA, not only the cooperation with COICA, but also with the other Korean agency and international agency. From Vietnam, we also start with the, how to say, the very small cooperation look like the conference and workshop, international conference and workshop. And in this international and conference workshop, we show out the issue is the problem from Vietnam, for example. And then after the look, for example, let me check the VKC project for example. We start with it from the one conference in 2018. That's about the PPP on smart city development. And then based on this conference, in this conference, that's host in Hanoi, we invite COICA and other international agency to come, and we share the how to say the Vietnam context on smart city development. And based on this, we sign the MOU. And after we start, we will, how to say, we will activity, the ministry level activity. And after that, we develop the concept note. Yeah. And of course, one of the important activity before we launching the project is the study tour. We will have a field trip to the country or the organization or the agency that we have planned to cooperate with.
Thank you very much for this explanation. Do we have any other questions from anyone who joined online? You can write your question as well in the group chat. But if you do not have any more questions, we'll have to say bye to Ms. Chi Yen. She needs to return to her obligations, New Year's obligations. But really, we would like to thank you so much for coming today and for participating to WINIT 2024 on behalf of GRC and Professor Huang, who will also give a last, a last talk. I would like to really thank you for being here today. And if we have any more questions, we'll forward them to you directly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Priscilla, for presiding. Also, today is also a great event as the last day of WINIT. I'd like to celebrate. First thing is actually not only this 4 days of this 3.5 day or 4 days of our WINIT, the workshop that we did, especially to celebrate also our ASEAN Smart City professionals actually regathering reunion at the online. At the same time, also pitching off some of the ideas that which grow from our ASPP project to be pitched over to in Lombok. And also we give a new name to Lombok S-Cube Center, what we call the GRCM, which stands for Multicultural Campus as the name of the campus. So, well, I think our ASEAN Smart City program started last February. It's been a 1 year. We successfully conducted three major missions, what we have to do. The first mission was actually giving a short-term program where we have our, as ASEAN Smart City professional today actually who are trained, still keeping the relationship, and then today also, making their report on what's going on that one. The second one was actually about the webinar associated with that. We can actually we select, and then also for the reunion, and then also ASEAN program connected with our ITPP and IST and GRC, all the partner we have for the smart city civilization, which is today. And our third one will be soon completed for the admission to our master program. Thankfully, we have a 9 admitted to the ASEAN Smart City professional program and already, and then all of them will be coming. So 9 of them will be starting their master program on Smart City Global Convergence together with the Korean and also ITPP students starting this March 1st. So a month from now on, we'll have a new alumni who will be joining us. I really feel very thankful that every of our alumni of ISTIC and ITPP and also Smart City Global Convergence students gathering together along with ASEAN Smart City Professional Program. And I'd like to give you one last word that we may need to work for the rest of our time on these issues. Smart city civilization cannot change the world in 1 or 2 years of the day, or even 10 years is not enough. This is a long-term commitment on the civilization of our generation as our humanity to make the problems and the very sustainability issues and the risk what we are facing in the world, war, what we have in the world, and and also a lot of starvations, the economic issues what we have, it should be ended. Those should be ended. We are responsible to end those things, by endeavoring our smartness to, working together as smart citizens of the world. So I'd like to ask all of you again, for coming to this WINIT again. Hope every year with WINIT and also other conference we have, New City Empowerment Forum and also Global Smart City Leadership Forum, and also, GSTV. I hope everyone stay tuned and cooperate with us. Definitely our work of, 10 years or 20 years or 30 years of your dedication will make all of us to live more than 100 years. I hope this gathering to continue for the next years. And also at the same time, I promise for those countries who joined today, Malaysia, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, and lastly Indonesia, I will be visiting 5 of your country out of 10 countries of ASEAN soon to make your country with some of the real project that what we can focus. This is always my treatment that whoever those country representative actually really cooperate and dedicate their time, there's a reward. And 10 out of 5 countries will be rewarded with a certain project, what I believe. I think such presence is very important always, in the leadership. These same thing kind of things can happen to all other ITPP and others. So thank you so much for all of you who attended today's seminar. And I am looking forward to seeing you in the campus in other program. Also, I'm looking forward to seeing you next year on this WINIT, especially the people from Mataram. But as I promised to Mataram, also I will be visiting you and giving another courses together with the Professor August. So thank you so much, and hope all of you have a happy New Year. Which is Korean and Chinese and ASEAN Lunar New Year. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Professor Huang, for these closing remarks on our very last day of WINIT 2024. Before leaving all of you, I would like to ask you to just come together, turn on your camera, and just to take the last picture of this event. Let's mark the day with a group picture online and offline. So please turn on your camera and show us your beautiful teeth. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. One more time. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today and for attending the event since last Friday. It was an honor to have all of you and all of the participants coming, making the time. Thank you. I would like to especially say thank you to Professor Huang to organize this event and plan it, but also to Ms. Kwan, Dr. Kwan, who has also assisted me in planning the whole event. And of course, the University of Mataram, who has been hosting the event offline. Agus, especially Professor Agus. Thank you very much for all your help and for your team out there. It was an honor to be working together, and I hope to see you all next year. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.